Well, yes, indeed. We've got Shino Fagbenro Byron here with us. He's the presidential candidate of KOWA party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much
and
for
good to
having
see you
me. Good
again.
morning. Yes, thank you.
You know, yeah, there might have been a lot of focus on some political parties, but KOWA party also in the mix.
Yes.
How did your party take this? Were you also take it unawares in terms of the postponement?
Well, we were not absolutely surprised. Nigeria has had a history of poor project management. There are certain things that are clearly administrative. We lack capacity for things like scenario planning, reconnaissance, things like reconnaissance, which we call recce. When you want to deliver on a program, you do scenario planning, you do proper project management, which helps you to predict whether things will fail or whether they would work well before time. We've also always said that we believe INEC is overburdened. You know, there are certain responsibilities that could be taken care of by other independent agencies, voter registration, voter education. You know, if you look at the list of everything that INEC is involved with, you will see that it steers them away from their principal responsibility of conducting elections. And so we believe that, you know, you could lighten the burden of INEC. Beyond that, there's also the issue when between the government and INEC, they were allowing parties to be registered barely 6 months, 7 months to elections. I believe that at a particular point in time, about 20 parties were registered in a day.
That was within the ambit of the law, right?
Yes, it's between the ambit of the law, but the truth of the matter is that it's no longer a 4-year preparation period. You cannot start preparing for elections until the last party to that election has been officially declared. That is the last entry. So the whole idea that we had 4 years to prepare, it's limited to a certain extent and to certain activities. But you clearly could not say the length or the content of the ballot papers until all the parties that were recognized.
Especially with all the adjudication and all of that still going on, right?
As a matter of fact, the Attorney General, you know, Federal Attorney General was still making a case for Zamfara State up until 2 weeks ago. Now, what I'm saying is that, you know, there's a plethora of confusion, you know, that has led to administrative lapses, political interference, distraction, you know, and to be honest, yes, absolutely, distraction.
What kind of distractions?
Well, you know, things like burning up of, facilities here and there, burning up of facilities, malfunctioning equipment, you know, things like that. Those border on distractions.
So, does it then mean that, you know, with all of the examples you cited, notwithstanding, does it then mean no matter what INEC does, if we're to do this in another 4 years, we may likely face the same scenario if we don't revisit the election management structure that we have?
Absolutely, absolutely. You will recall there was a time when there was a controversy on whether the electoral law, whether the government should have signed a new electoral law or not. And I insisted at that time that it's not the electoral law that we should be focusing on. We should focus on the electoral management body itself and its ability to prepare. It's project management. Delivering election is program management, it's program delivery.
One of the issues you mentioned, which is also something that was referenced yesterday by the INEC, one of the INEC national commissioners, is the humongous logistic requirements for the elections. He talked about, of course, we also mentioned it now, so many political parties, and he mentioned about 23,000 candidates in this one election, factoring in all the equipment and everything that has to go into it. Plus the fact that we don't have 4 years, really, just from what you have said now.
Absolutely.
What should have been done? And do you see us ready now?
Well, I think they shot themselves in the foot. I mean, we all shot ourselves in the foot. I mean, at this point in time, Nigerians should collectively take the blame and look at things holistically.
How?
Well, you see, there is part of pressure on people that, look, everybody should be registered, one. Secondly, you know, you can't stop people from electing. We have not decentralized INEC sufficiently. We are continuing in this spirit of over-centralized government. Everything must be decided in Abuja.
But you know, how do we blame Nigerians as well if INEC repeatedly told us, even up until hours before the time,
that they're ready?
That they were ready.
Well, you see, what I'm saying is this. INEC will continue to say they are ready because usually, well, I don't want to say the civil service mentality, but people continue to give you assurances that they don't have the evidence of. Where I am saying Nigeria should have some collective responsibility, I'm not saying, you know, maybe blame is the wrong word, but where we should have some collective responsibilities that both the politicians, right, have put pressures where they shouldn't have put pressures. The general public failed to see that the more demands we have on the electoral management body, you know, the more we increase their inability to be able to manage what they have. We see that we have an over-centralized system. That's why some of us are asking that we should restructure and decentralize some of the institutions that we have. You cannot continue to put in heavy loads and burdens on an institution that does not have the capacity, right, to work. It's like asking an elephant to run very, very fast. You know,
okay, well, naturally,
you know, run faster than an antelope.
Naturally, the next question will then be, what must we do to be saved? But we'll talk about that. Oh, yes, indeed. So, Mr. Barrow, what will your recipe be for a solution?
Basically, until the poverty level in this country is reduced by more than 50%, there is not going to be a solution. Until the literacy level is raised. We have a 70% illiteracy in this country. Until that literacy level is raised, there is not likely to be a permanent solution. Well, you see, anything, look, this country has literally been destroyed systematically, and this is what we're saying. The only solutions are the sustainable solutions. Without education, without poverty being reduced, you will still have people who are going to be gullible enough to continue to follow oppressors. I mean, look at some of the political parties within their ranks, in their own rallies, the amount of violence and mayhem that goes on in there. That is not even inviting any third party into their rallies. Now, you expect those ones to deliver peaceful, and they all rely on poverty. They all rely on poverty. Go and to their rallies. They rely that people continue to remain poor.
But it gives one concern then that, of course, you know that many people, many youths are looking for an alternative.
Yes.
There is KOWA party, which has been around for a while. There are so many other political parties.
That is true.
But you guys don't seem to be galvanizing yourself enough to give the people an option to what they have.
I don't agree with you. I think we are galvanizing ourselves enough. I think the resistance from the established parties are there. I think the press has given undue attention, undue focus on the parties. Look at what we've been talking about in the past 2 hours. We've been talking about PDP said this, APC said that. We should be talking about poverty reduction. We should talking about, look, Akwa Ibom, where you have a crisis, many Nigerians do not know that the border with Cameroon, there is a major crisis that can implode and overflow into Nigeria at any time. And we don't see that. We are distracted by they said this and we said that. It is where we focus. We have not conducted an issues-based campaign this period. So we haven't been able to have the capacity to distill and to decipher.
Essentially, you're saying that the electorate doesn't have an option?
I'm not saying the electorate doesn't have an option. I said that the resistance to change is as much as the will and desire for change. And I think that both new parties, of course, there are some new parties that are just offshoots of the old ones. So it'll take some time, it'll take some fracture, but when it happens, I think a lot has been happening quietly, you know, within the new parties, within the Nigerian space.
How's your campaign going?
Our campaign is going excellently well. We are spread. The beauty about KOWA parties that we have over, KOWA party is the only party that, out of the new parties, that has most candidates running. We have over 245 candidates running in various elections all over the country. You know, we are quite spread. We've been very much present, particularly in several states in the north, southwest, southeast, south-south. KOWA party is a party that is bigger than its presidential candidate. We are the party with a cell phone. We've sent our messages very well. In the north, we are known by our name. KOWA, the KOWA means all of us. In the southwest, KOWA means bring to us, that's Yoruba. In Igbo, KOWA means explain to us. And this is what we have our message, we have our 5-point agenda. We are very gung-ho on reducing poverty by at least 50%. We are very gung-ho about restructuring and decentralizing the country. And we are very gung-ho about anti-corruption.
Well, the thing is that cell phone will not be allowed in the polling booth.
I know, elections.
But the voter will be. So
we will urge Nigerians to settle for best. If Nigerians don't settle for best, they will never get the best.
All right, Mr. Shina Fagbero Byron, the presidential candidate of KOWA Party.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, so Mark, back to you.